evening, everyone. I thought I'd ask for questions this evening. We had a bit of a technical discussion last night, and either from that or from any of your other reading and thinking, we'll entertain questions this evening. Yes?
In the line coming directly from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, do we only have the window of opportunity of Manjari and Priyanamra Saka, or is it wider than that?
Mm-hmm. In one sense, it's wider than that, quite a bit wider than that. In another sense, it's narrower, but not that narrow. Go to the narrow side first. Or say, let's go to the broad side first. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Swami Bhagavan, Shri Kṛṣṇa. And as we know, and so all the different avatars of the Godhead are contained within Swami Bhagavan. So with the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have the presence of all possibilities, in a sense. We find amongst his associates that he had associates from Ram Leela and other Leelas. As an example, Mari Gupta was thought to be Hanuman himself, appearing in the Gaura Leela. Jagai and Madai were thought to be Jaya and Vijay from the gates of Vaikuntha, an encore appearance. After they had done their 3 births as demons, they got to be demons again for Gaura Leela, something like that. Of course, this is dealing with the entourage of Mahaprabhu, his close associates, and arguably, as Narottam has said, Gaurangera Sangigani Nitisiddha Mani. All the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Nitisiddhas. So that's not the case for everyone else who's been touched by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but his sampradaya, but also by his person. He went, for example, traveling in South India, and didn't convert everyone to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. In some cases, he, for example, the Ramdas Vipra, he was very much pleased with his absorption in Ram Bhakti, and he's not thought to be an eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but a sadhana siddha that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met, and of course he didn't show himself as Ram to him, but at any rate, point I'm making is that there's the broader side of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his wide dissemination of the Yuga Dharma, which consists of the chanting of the holy name, and particularly he advocated the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And this is, in a broad sense, a very universal mantra. So I've heard the mantra chanted in a temple in South India where it was chanted 24 hours a day. And every time they said Ram, they were thinking of Ramchandra. So it has different applications. We find in the prayer of Raghunath Das Goswami to his Gurudev that he speaks of the name of Krishna and arguably the Maha Mantra as coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In a particular way, he says, Nama Shreshtam Api Sachiputram. So this is going to the narrow side, or the deeper side, I guess we could say, broad and deep, where he says that my Gurudev has given me the son of, by my Gurudev's grace, I've come in touch with the son of Sachi, and through him, the highest Nam Shreshtam, the highest conception of the name. So there are less high conceptions of the holy name, and from the broader perspective of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Yuga avatar, there's arguably the prospect of, through wide dissemination, Prabhupada was involved in this, very wide dissemination, very broad in his outreach, For example, if he came to a place where there are lots of Ram Bhaktas, he'd say, well, put a deity of Sita and Ram on the altar and let them chant Hare Krishna and go to Ayodhya. That was his approach. And so, part of it anyway, and the broad side of it. So, the argument of Bhakti Vinod is that basically that Shankaracharya, with the Buddha, Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, Madhva, and onward up to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the prior speakers, if you will, and contributors prior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are all like second acts or something like that before the main act of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga. These are all Kali Yuga appearances that I mentioned. So some partial form of theism, and he gives the full-fledged form of theism, the deepest sense and the broadest sense at the same time. So Bhakti Vinod's argument was that eventually the different sampradayas, say the Vaishnava sampradayas like the Śrī Sampradaya of Ramanuja, the Madhva Sampradaya, the Nimbarka Sampradaya, the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, they'll all come under the banner of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Yuga Avatar. Now that hasn't happened. But as I've said before, in a sense it has happened, in that these sampradayas are getting energy from the Chaitanya Sampradaya, and in particular from our family, our community, the Bhakti Vinod Paribar, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur referred to it, which has been instrumental in forging a bridge from Gaudiya Vaishnavism of antiquity into modernity and the world over through the work of my most exalted and venerable Guru Maharaj, Om Vishnupad Desi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So, again, he did a very broad outreach. We find in some places he installed deities of Sita and Ram, just to give an example. And so, in this broad outreach, what we see is that these other sampradayas have gained energy and credibility, notoriety, a place, if you will, in the modern world due to the work of the Chaitanya Sampradaya and Prabhupada's work of building a bridge, if you will, from India to America that they have walked on. Now, how much they'll recognize that or acknowledge that amongst them, it's another thing. But I think it's quite clear, objectively speaking, that this is the case. I mean, in the academia is a good example where decades past, any course on Hinduism ended up in Nirvishesh Brahma. That was what Hinduism was. And with Prabhupada's books being distributed, as he insisted, into the universities and so forth, and this phenomenon of young people on the streets with shaven heads, old people too, apparently, then such a visible group got a lot of attention in good ways and bad ways, I suppose, but they got attention, like I call them spiritual terrorists. So in the beginning, you do whatever to get attention to your cause. And we terrorized some people on the streets, no doubt. But attention was gained, and the good of that is that the forms of Vaishnava Vedanta have got a foothold in academia. And now there are scholars studying Gaudiya Vaishnavism and Vallabha Vaishnavism and Śrī Vaishnavism and so forth. And it's quite considerably more diversified in terms of what is taught as the goal of Hinduism. It doesn't all end in Nirvishesh Brahma. There are a number of Ramanuja temples here serving Hindu communities, and there are some academics who became involved in the Ballava Sampradaya through our Sampradaya. Practically any Western person, 99.9% of them who are involved in any form of Vaishnavism came through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tradition. And while some members of those different traditions may not give the credit that's due, it's an undeniable fact. I've told the story of the guy who was a devotee of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and then he left, frustrated with some of the policies and whatnot, and ended up joining the Sri Sampradaya. And then when he went to try to get into the capital at Sri Rangam, the temple, they wouldn't let him in because he wasn't a Hindu. They said only Hindus can come in. He said, no, I'm a Hindu. And he pulled out his badge or whatever and his letter of initiation from the Sri Sampradaya, and they said, no, you can't come in. So he was so flustered that out of kind of habit from the past, he said, Hare Krishna. They said, oh, Hare Krishna, you come in. So you can come in. Hare Krishna can come. So it's a funny example, but there are a number of them. There are some devotees, some disciples of Prabhupada, who were collected up by Prabhupada, dusted off, taught in a general way about Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and found themselves attracted to Sri Vaishnavism, and made a connection in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya with sadhus there, and are pursuing that really more than they are Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and there's a number of them, not a large number, but some. So, and then there are a lot of persons, of course, influenced by Gaudiya Vaishnavism and our Paribar in particular, that really don't know where they're going. Whether they're going in a narrow or deeper sense or in a broader sense. They don't know that much about the prayojan possibilities and so forth. So we'll see what happens. But there is an argument for the broader side of Chaitanya Vaishnavism, and how by being connected with it, you're open. You stepped into a world of possibilities, because again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is who he is. He's Swayam Bhagavan. Vaidhi Bhakti is quite generous. Attainment of Vaikuntha is quite easy compared to Rag Bhakti. Rag Bhakti is said to be easier, but it's not easy to get eligibility for it, to get the taste. Once you have it, it's easy because once you have the taste, well, then you're driven by the taste. That's why Rag Bhakti is said to be easier and faster. But if you're on the Rag Marg by knowledge rather than by taste, then you're what we call an Ajata Ruchi Rag Bhakti. You're there, but you haven't got a taste hasn't been born in you yet. So you have your goal fixed up theoretically, where you're going and so forth. So at any rate, there's a broad side. And so if we look at it from that angle, you could say there are a number of possibilities. The peculiarities of the Rag Marg are what they are. It's more of a narrow focus, and it penetrates deeper. And this, in particular, these are the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given to the world is Unata Ujvala. In the words of Rupa Goswāmī, Unata Ujvala, rasa. Ujvala means Madhurya rasa, is the term Rupa Goswāmī has used to describe in detail Madhurya rasa in his book Ujval Nilmani. Ujval Nilmani. Nilmani means blue jewel. So the blue sapphire, the brilliant blue sapphire of romantic love. So Unata Ujvala is a special kind of Ujjvala Rasa. And this is the Ujjvala Rasa of the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and so many in our paribar, or in our whole devotee lineage. This Unata Ujjvala Rasa, this is said to be what, in the highest reach, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to benedict the world with the opportunity for. It corresponds with what he's about. He came to taste the love of Radha. Would you like to taste the love of Radha? You cannot become Radha. To some extent, he could become. But there's a way in which you can taste the Bhava of Radha by way of attaching yourself to Radha as a handmaiden. That is called the Manjari Bhav, like the Manjari is attached at the end to the plant. So Radha's like the plant, something like that. You water the plant, and the manjaris, the blossoms, are nourished. So that said, that's the meaning of Rupa Goswami's verse. Same time, Krishnadas Kaviraj explains the verse and mentions that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute the 4 bhavas of Braj. That means Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So different devotees will argue about what's the significance of that, what's the meaning of that. And I've argued that these 4 are divided into 2. These 4. Madhurya Rasa is also known, and there are departments of it, but it's known as Kamarup. And the Manjari Bhav is a type of Kamarupa. Kamarupa Bhakti. And then Dasya, Sakya, and Vatsalya of Braj are known as Samandarup Bhakti. So the 4 have now been divided into 2. And while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to taste Radha's love and the overflow of that, if you will, assisted so well as he was by the Goswamis, and and empowered as they were by him, this flow of Madhurya Rasa of Manjari Bhav is prominent, to say the least. But we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is accompanied by his other self, Nityananda Prabhu, who has done more than anyone to spread Krishna consciousness and bring attention to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and make it possible for anyone to attain Manjari Bhav. You have to go through Nityananda Prabhu to attain that. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself says, in the 5th chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he makes the point that it's only by the mercy of Nityananda that I was able to come to the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari. So, Narottam prays in this way. Arkobe nitai chander karano hoibe sangsara vasana mor kobe tu chahobe. With this in place, the mercy of Nityananda, samsara removed, entered Vrindavan there. Rupa Raghunatha Pade. Yeah. So come in touch with Rup and Raghunath, Rup and Rati Manjaris. So he is, as I said, he started the Sampradaya before the Goswami's books were written. Mahaprabhu taught to chant Krishna Nam, he said chant Gaur Nam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught to worship Krishna, he said worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he just came out and started. His own associates, the Dwadasa Gopal, began initiating and starting a Sampradaya before the architect of the Sampradaya was even hired. Sanatana Goswami was hired and appointed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the architect. So he was to give the etiquette, what are the mantras for the Sampradaya, what are the procedures, how you perform the different rituals and the decorum, everything, all the details there. The teachings of Uttam Bhakti given by Rupa Goswami. So these Goswamis, but Sanatana is the elder of them in Gaura Lila. I call him the architect of the Sampradaya. So he was hired by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You're hired. Now do this. Before that happened, Nityananda Prabhu was just taking a piece of scratch paper and drawing it up. Here it is. We're going to start it. And his followers, they went out and started initiating and opening centers in Bengal. These are the original lineages of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. And they were influenced by Nityananda Prabhu. They were the Dwadasa Gopals. There were the Dwadasa Gopals, and then there was the Upagopals, who were secondary Gopals under them. And these helped great devotees like Udaranadatta was one of the Dwadasa Gopals, and others. They had their lineage, their seats of their centers, original Krishna conscious preaching centers, if you will. And they were prominent. I mean, the line of Raghunath Das Goswami that leads to the Babaji sector that presides, if you will, over Radha Kund. It starts with Dhananjaya Pandit. He's one of the Dwadasa Gopals. Asaka. So, that's an interesting point to bring up, of course. So, what we see is for about 2.5 generations or so, that this Sakyarasa influence had considerable place and prominence, and in time, that prominence faded. And there are different ways to think about that, and I'll tell you some of mine ways of thinking about it. But the point I'm making is that Nityananda Prabhu comes with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he comes to assist Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is what he comes for. This is mentioned very clearly in all the texts. Prabhupada obviously said he was in Sakyarasa. Some people have to turn him into a manjari. Well, it gets worse than that. Some people have to turn Nityananda Prabhu into a manjari as well, and say, actually, he's the combined incarnation of Baladev and Ananga Manjari, and really he's a manjari. And these are much later things. I mean, books even from the 19th century that are quoted that have nothing to do with what Krishna's Kaviraj is writing. For example, at length about Nityananda Prabhu. There's not a hint of that. Now, it's true that Baladev has a Shakti Tattva manifestation that is named Ananga Manjari in the Leela, that is the younger sister of Radharani. That's a fact. But it's not that just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the world to taste the love of Radha, Baladev has come to the world to taste the love of Ananga Manjari. That doesn't make any sense. There's a reason that Krishna had to make a special arrangement. There's no reason for Baladev to have to make that arrangement. He has a Shakti Tattva who's tasting, through that form, is already tasting Madhurya Bhava in Golok. So, and we won't go into it at length, but we connect ourselves with with Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, these core texts who define principally who everybody is, what their contribution is, and so forth. So, the main purpose of Nityananda Prabhu is the same purpose that Baladev has. Balaram is the servitor personality of Godhead. He's trying to serve Krishna in every way. And Nityananda Prabhu is trying to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in every way. And so he's trying to bring people to him, the gift that he has. He's making it possible for people to get that gift. But in the course of doing that, what we see is some people become attached to Nityananda Prabhu and his influence. And his influence didn't change. So he was full with Sakya Bhav in the Leela. It's very apparent. It's pointed out by everyone. So you can't be around a person like that and not be influenced. You might be influenced. Of course, we were talking about eternal associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but not everybody's an eternal associate. And so there's a powerful influence of Sakyarasa, and even formal initiation going on into Sakyarasa. Later, the theology of the Goswāmīs came, and Rupa Goswami's verse that I cited, for example, and others pointing to the furthest reach of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is about and how, in a way, it's being made available to others. So, these two influences are very central to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Why the Sakyarasa influence has receded to the background, in my opinion, has to do with the fact that the entire essence of the Sampradaya over time receded to the background. And, it's not a hard thing to imagine. I mean, we see this happening all the time. I remember myself years ago when I was thinking something's wrong here, and I hadn't left the other institution that I had joined, and I had to think to myself, the conclusion I'm coming to here is rather radical, but then again, it happens all the time in other religious traditions. I would be foolish to think that it couldn't happen in mine. Indeed, there's a history of it happening, and we hearken back to Bhakti Vinod and his revolutionary preaching, and he was called by some the seventh Goswami, and he kind of refocused what Gaudiya Vaishnavism is about. He himself testified that he didn't have much regard for it in the way it was being represented. Not that there weren't real Gaudiyas, sadhus, and so forth, but the standard fare of representation was lacking and much less than compelling. It said if a Gaudiya person came to your door begging, you'd give him some fruit and send him away. There was nothing to listen to him, what he had to say. What the common or the educated Hindu how they would think about such people. So Bhakti Vinod kind of refocused Gaudiya Vaishnavism, wrote many, many books, and again, as we said earlier, interfaced with the modern world, and here we are, and so forth. So when the essence of the tradition gets obscured to some extent, then it has a spiritual appearance, but at its core, it can be materialistic. And it happens, to institutions. It happens to individuals. And you go through the motions, and you see people on Facebook lashing out at the Pope or something, in the name of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He's a demon. I saw this. What's wrong with these people? What does it have to do with Gaudiya Vaishnavism? So people get tied into it psychologically in some way, and it works for them materially. Maybe they're set up, it's working, and so they don't want to rock the boat, and it gets from revolutionary and experiential to kind of churchy and more institutional, and these kind of things happen. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur formed the first modern institution, and he himself made this point, that institutions can end up getting in the way. But it happens to individuals also. That's why we need real sadhus. Keep coming around, shaking up shaking everybody up and speaking about it in a different way, maybe using a little different vocabulary, whatever, and trying to get people to refocus on the essential message. This is the work of the sadhus of the Guru Parampara. So there's always something to do. I had thought, and I've said it before, years and years and years ago, that if Gaudiya Vaishnavism spreads far and wide in America, boy, there'd be a lot of preaching to do, because there'll certainly be a lot of misrepresentation. It'll be like India, hodgepodge of ideas, of half-baked half-truths of Gaudiya Vaishnavism mixed up with something else. And you see it happening, at this time. Not that it's taking over the world, but it is more widespread, touched more people by now than it did when Prabhupada was here, and there's an awful lot of confusion about what it is. So So this happened to the Sampradaya to some extent, and it's crude, but my sense is that so many Sankya-Rasa lineages established by the followers of Nityananda Prabhu, suddenly each of the Dwadasa Gopals happens to have a Manjari Swarup as well. It's not mentioned anywhere by Kavi Karnapur, who listed who all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were in Krishna Leela. It's not in any book, but somebody in the lineage suddenly decided Manjari Bhav seems to be that's selling more. That's that's what people want. So suddenly Dhananjaya Pandit's got a Manjari Swarup, and Gauridas Pandit's got a Manjari Swarup, and I mean, you could call it the realization, the insights of the group. But they say, Nityananda Prabhu, the closest of Mahaprabhu, you don't think he would get the gift of Mahaprabhu, of Manjari Bhav? He would be kept out? No. And the next thing you know, you keep reading, and Nityananda Prabhu is Radha. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was so much against this. I've seen it. So these things go on, and so I think for reasons of this nature, which are unbecoming, this Sankya-Rasa was pushed to the background. It'll always have kind of a secondary place in a sense. Nityananda Prabhu was assisting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like, if we have influence of Sankya-Rasa, it's not like we're out promoting everybody. We promote what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about. Of course, we make emphasis that this is a possibility because people argue against that it's not. That Sankya-Rasa is not a possibility of Gaudiya Vaishnava. So we had to say something. If they wouldn't do that, well, we just go about our bhajan and promote overtly what Nityananda Prabhu himself promoted. And if in the course of that someone has insight into your own reality, like Prabhupada's reality, that's why we brought out, for example, Oh My Friend. That's this reality, his inner reality that he himself spoke about, it should be known. And so here it is again, a big current, a wave of Sankya-Rasa. So now, that said, Sankya-Rasa has different divisions. So and it's part of Sambandha Rupa, as I said, Bhakti, because I've taken the four, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, Braj, and turned it into two, the forms of Kama Rupa and Sambandha Rupa. So I want to say the Sambandha Rupa. Sambandha means relationship. So you can have a relationship with Krishna as a parent. You can have a relationship with Krishna as a friend. You can have a relationship with Krishna as a servant, but you can't have a relationship with Krishna as a paramour lover. Not on the surface, anyway. That's a secret thing in the Braj. Do you understand? So in the Braj Leela, that's not a possibility of a relationship. That doesn't exist. That's illegal. You understand? It's not allowed. So it's not an official relationship that you can have with Krishna. Therefore, it's called Kamarupa, just out of desire, or apparent lust, which is actually love. And it's a secret affair. It's underneath the surface. Everybody knows about it, but everybody's pretending it's not happening. And everybody wants it to happen. Everybody wants Radha to meet with Krishna, even Jatila, even Kutila, the mother-in-law and sister-in-law of Radharani, even Radharani's so-called husband, who's a manifestation of Krishna. But for Leela, this illusion is created. They are married. They are, because everyone belongs to Krishna. Swakiya means belonging. But there's an illusion of not belonging, and it creates a risk element, and this makes for the exciting intrigue of the Braj Leela. So there's the Sambandha Rupa and the Kama Rupa. And then to follow that is the Sambandhanuga or Kamanuga, to follow either of those influences or forms of love in the Rag Marg, in the Braj. So both of these are being distributed. So all the four are being covered in that way. But because Nityananda Prabhu is in Sakya Ras mixed with Dasya Ras and Vatsalya Rasa. So everything's covered in Nityananda Prabhu. And then the fourth kind of sakas are the Priyanarma sakas, whose love, their Sakya Rasa is mixed with Madhurya Rasa. So there's obviously plenty of room for that influence because there's so much Madhurya Rasa in the Sampradaya, so much of that influence. But arguably, and we find it, other forms of Sakya Rasa also. Amongst the Dwadasa Gopals, they're not all Priyanarma sakas. And there's an 18th century text, Preo Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu, 18th century text, all about the love of Sudama, one of the Priya sakas, means pure Sakya Ras, not mixed with anything. There's Sakya Ras mixed with Dasya. Mixed means Sankul, Keval means exclusive. So Sankul, you have the primary rasa, and some Sakya Ras in this case mixed with Dasya. Then you have the Sakya Ras mixed with Vatsalya. Then you have Sakya Ras pure. Then Sakya Rasa mixed with Madhurya. That's the Priyanarma. And that's a very high reach of Sakya Rasa, which exceeds in excellence, if you will, in spiritual excellence and intimacy, Vatsalya Rasa, where ordinary Sakya Rasa does not. The other forms of Sakya Rasa do not. But some of the Dwadasa Gopals were Priyanarma sakas, some were other forms of sakas. The whole, I believe, of the Sakya Rasa possibilities are found there. So arguably, Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these are the samasti gurus, the macrocosmic gurus of Gaudiya Sampradaya. And then you have many Vyasti local representations, like the macrocosmic, and microcosmic representation. So, they're bringing the influence. It's there. Arguably, some instance of Vatsalya Rasa could pop up. And there are some there are some in the stories, in the oral tradition and so forth. But there's no systematic teaching about it. There is a systematic teaching about Manjari Bhav and songs sung in that. And there is a systematic teaching for Sakya Rasa also. The literature is not as extant, but there are some examples. The manuscript of Preo Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu I just mentioned is a good one. It's survived, here into it was written in the 18th century. We have Oh My Friend, in the 21st century? In the 21st century, so it's alive and well. And so this is the more narrow or deep focus of Gaudiya Vaishnava. It takes one to Braj, and in the Braj, its involvement with the intrigues of Radha and Krishna's affairs, particularly the Priyanarma Saka, is privy to that. Sakya Rasa is favorable to Madhurya Rasa. Vatsalya Rasa is not favorable to it. Dasya Rasa is not favorable to it. So these two, they work together, and we have Gaura and Nityananda. So a good argument can be made that these are the windows of opportunity that are really being presented. But in the broader sense, of course, yes, Rupa Goswāmī wrote a book about Vaidhi Bhakti and Rag Bhakti and so on and so forth. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the Yuga avatar, and all the avatars are present within him. And it's possible that you can take to Gaudiya Vaishnavism by way of chanting Hare Krishna, following Vaidhi Bhakti as given in bhakti-yoga, and wanting to go to Vaikuntha and go there, attain what's desirable in the Rāmanuja Sampradaya. I've given an example, even in the Rāmanuja. I've been to 2 Rāmanuja temples one in Vrindavan and one in South India, where they chant Hare Krishna 24 hours a day. It's mentioned in the Upanishads as the remedial measure for the Kali Yuga. Iti sodasakam namnam kali kalmashanashanam sabba bedeshu dushite Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Kali Santaran Upanishad. Brahma's answer to Nard. Or is it? Yeah, Brahma's answer to Nard. How will people be delivered in Kali Yuga? This is how. By chanting the Mahamantra. So, Mahaprabhu appropriately there he is. Who else is doing that? Right? Another way of establishing his divinity. From the Upanishads, it said this is the mantra for the deliverance in Kali Yuga. He's the one who's championed it, no one else, really. And taught his followers to chant it and so on. So I think there's an argument for a broader reach and then for a deeper reach. The deeper reach is more the core of what, Gaudiya Vaishnavism as a lineage, as a sampradaya, is about. Because we have the external side of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the internal side. And, if he's our deity, we're going to go to the internal side and obviously be acquainted with that. If not, that's not our interest, then he can help us to attain some other ideal more readily, the argument would be, than anyone else can. So what if you're initiated in the Ramanuja Sampradaya? Doesn't mean you can get into the Sri Rangam temple, but Hare Krishna, you can get in. Something like that. Does that help?
Just one follow-up. It seems in the writings of Bhakti-vedanta Swami that this emphasis on absolute complete selflessness, which is the characteristic of the Manjari Bhav and the Priyanarma Sakas, that they're just completely subordinate, is really an emphasis. So that was the nature of my question. That you said the core, the internal reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance seems to be centered in that way, that complete, absolute selfless service is the ideal.
Well, it begins with Prahlad in terms of selfless service. And in Prahlad we find no selfishness, no material selfishness. And then we go up on a ladder of spiritual selfishness, or a spiritual sense of identity that's different from Bhagavan, for example. In the Braj, the identity of the devotees is not different from Krishna. Krishna is one of them. He's a Brajbasi. We're Brajbasis. We're the same. In Sakiras, they're equals. You take Madhurya Rasa. In Madhurya Rasa, we have Samartha-rati, what is Sadharana, and Samanjasa. Madhurya Rasa. So the Samanjasa is the love of the queens in Dwarka for Krishna. In their love for Krishna, there is a sense of self, and a sense of selflessness in their love. It's mixed. The love of Kubja, which is Sadharan, ordinary, has a lot of selfish interest in it. The Gopi Samartha-rati is characterized by not having, their self-interest is Krishna's interest. They have no self separate from Krishna. They have no self separate from Krishna. Whatever is his interest, desire, that's their desire. So there's a level, if you will, of a gradation of spiritual
selfishness. The example sometimes I give is that of Rukmini, who couldn't cross over the Vedic Dharma and just run off with Kṛṣṇa because it was against the rules. And if she went against the rules, that would be bad for her. And she would be irreligious. And so she has an identity there that's grounded in the text in a way that the gopis' identity is not. I mean, she went as far as she could. She got a Brahmin, wrote him a note, wrote Kṛṣṇa a note, said, "Give this to Kṛṣṇa, tell him to get me out of here. Do a Gandharva, wedding where you come in and sweep me away at the altar and take me for your own," something like that. This is what Rukmini wrote, but she wasn't ready to just split from the wedding and just run off with Kṛṣṇa. But the gopis, of course, they're ready to cross over the Vedic Dharma and the law. That's the whole idea of Parakya. They didn't give a second thought to that. And all the people of Braj, they have no self in as much as, again, Kṛṣṇa is completely one with them. Even in Dwarka, Kṛṣṇa is not one with the gopis, with the inhabitants there. He's not. They know. I mean, at night, Kṛṣṇa's sleeping in the palaces of his queens, and at times he calls out, "Nanda, Yashoda, Lalita, Vishaka, Subal, Radha." So they have nothing to do with that place. They have nothing to do with the Braj. But he does. You see? So they're not one with him in all respects. Now you could say it the other way around. The gopis have nothing to do with Dwarka, but Krishna's not in Vrindavan going to sleep at night calling out Rukmini, So he's there. I mean, they kind of know. He's here, but he's not here. He's not really here. He's more somewhere else, but he's somewhat here, and he's so good that even having him somewhat here is satisfying. So this is to give you an example. So the people of Braj, they're one with him. They're they are him. In other words, they are an embodiment of love that he is the object of, that he corresponds with. Swami Bhagavan. So without them, he doesn't exist. Without him, they have no existence. This is Beda Ved, Achintya Beda Ved. So in this sense, they have no separate existence. And in the Rag Marg, this distance between worshipper and the worshipped is bridged. So worship is one thing, love is another. In love, the object of love and the love become one. There's no difference. Therefore, Radharani through the pen of the Kavi Karnapur, the great and glorious Kavi Karnapur, says, "Those who say I love you know nothing about love." Because when you say I love you, there's you and there's me. And love is about becoming one. This is Advai Gyan. This is what Bhagavatam is about. Advai Gyan Tattva. Tatvadanti Tattva Vidas Tattva Jnanam Advayam. The Bhagavatam is about Advai Gyan, non-dual consciousness, non-dual awareness. Yeah, well, this is the dynamic form of it. When you say I love you, then there's you and there's me. And there's no love in that. Love is about the two becoming one. So this is the Braj Bhakti. No selfishness there. So from Prahlad we begin. No material selfishness. That has to be in place. But yes, and in the example of the gopis and the Sakis, it is said amongst the Sakis, Radha and Kṛṣṇa cannot have their union without them. They're an essential ingredient. Radha and Kṛṣṇa cannot have this full experience of union, where Radha loses her identity and Krishna loses his identity. It becomes a blur. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. This is blurred. You find this in Ramananda Samvad. This is what the Swarup Damodar Goswami's verse is about. Radha Krishna Pranay Vikati Ladini Shakti Rasmad. This is the pranay of Madhurya Rasa. I said the other day, pranay is a development of the Sthayi Bhav in Sakya Rasa and in Madhurya Rasa. In Sakya Rasa, it comes before prem, a sense of equality and your body is my body, something like that. In Madhurya Rasa, it comes after prem, after sneha, before man, and after man. Or it can come, So, and then in the highest sense, this pranay, Radha Krishna pranay, Vikriti Ladini Shakti Rasmad. This is Swarupa Goswami's verse found in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Mangal Charan there. Radha Krishna pranay. What this pranay is talking about, this Radha and Krishna is one, he becomes two, the two become one as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What's being discussed there is the full face of the unity of love. This is the poem of Ramananda Roy. Mahaprabhu said, "Say more, say more, say more." And he asked him in the beginning, "Whatever you say, support it with the scriptures." And what did he say in the end? "I can say more, but I can't support it with the scriptures." Say it. Whoa, Mahaprabhu said, "Say it." Then he wrote this poem. He spoke this poem that is, what is he saying here? This is what he's talking about. This kind of pranay that's in Rupa Goswami, in Swarupa Damodar Goswami's verse that the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami cites. And there is the melting of the two. Radha thinks she's Krishna, Krishna thinks she's Radha, they don't know. This is love. So to say I love you, they know nothing about love. This is Radha's statement. So, in order for them to achieve that, Chaitanya Charitamrita clearly teaches there are some assisting players that make it possible. He says the Sakhis. He uses the word Sakhis. So he's referring to Priya Sakhis, really ultimately Manjaris, arguably the Sakhi Bhav of the Priyanarmas. Rupa Goswami is called those friends of Krishna, define their love as Sakhi Bhav. That's speaking about the Madhurya element. So they're involved in all these things, the intrigues, the sending the messages, making it possible for the meetings, pacifying Radha, when she won't, give Krishna audience, and so on and so forth. Subal is the best at that, and everybody in the Braj, for example. So, therefore, in Rupa Goswami says there's nothing that there's nowhere that he cannot participate. Rupa Goswami has a verse of him at night taking Krishna out to find Radha. Most of the cowherds are asleep. Subal's out at night and says, "You wait here." He goes and finds Radha. "Come, follow me." And her handmaiden puts her hand on Subal's shoulder. And Radha puts her hand on the other shoulder. And he's going to guide them through the night to meet with Radha. So these are special kinds of friends of Krishna, and it's arguably that love, without these two groups, gopis and the Priyanarmas, that union, it can't be fully realized. So this is the deeper and narrow focus of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And yes, the gopis love, I mean, it's very much brought out there in Chaitanya Charitamrita that the only reason that they relish the bliss of their engagement is because they know it will please Kṛṣṇa if they do that. Otherwise, they have no interest in that. This emphasis is made strongly, especially in the case of the gopis. But it's the whole of the Braj, but there too, the extreme, no spiritual selfishness, even self-identity. So again, the different ways in which to say that they have no separate identity. Obviously, they know I'm a cowherd, I'm a gopi, but he's also one of us. So there's no separation. There's no worshipable object there that's different, as you can find on down the ladder, if you will, to Mathura, to Dwarka, to Ayodhya, to Vaikuntha, and so forth. Yes.
So this most intimate window of opportunity, is that available anywhere else except coming from Lord Chaitanya?
No, it's not. It's not available anywhere else.
And no other, except in his other Kali Yugas when...
Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever he comes, however. That's his specialities. There are other rag marg sampradayas like the Ballabha Sampradaya, like the Nimbarka Sampradaya. But the Nimbarkas, they don't accept Parakiya in Golok. So they're Swakiyavadis. And the Ballabhas, they have some emphasis on Vatsalya Rasa and some emphasis on some form of Madhurya Rasa, but not like the Gaudiyas. And we're the Sakya Rasa.
So what's the highest limit of, in the other Kali Yugas, through the dispensation of chanting the holy name?
Well, it's thought that this is Taraka Brahmanam, so deliverance to Vaikuntha, Yuga Dharma. If you take out the internal reasons for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance and you just take the Yuga Avatar side, then you've got chanting for deliverance from material existence, and some people chant for that purpose, to attain Vaikuntha. If you have Kṛṣṇa coming in the person of the Yuga Avatar and the special form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then there's more to be had. Well, this is talked about in this way as a rare opportunity, isn't it? Yeah. Yes.
I was wondering, did Vallabhacharya appear just to give Vatsalya Ras, because we can't really apply it to the Gaudiya line?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting question. Vallabhacharya is connected to the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya and the famous commentator Sridhar Swami of antiquity that Mahaprabhu appreciated. I don't know much about Vallabhacharya other than what our lineage's perspective on him is. I think in Bhakti Ratnakar, which is one of our texts, a historical type of text, it says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed Vallabha to have his own lineage. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, is depicted in Puri as kind of like a duck amongst swans, not quite fitting in with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates. Still, Gadadhar shows him grace and gives him Radha Krishna mantra. So from our perspective, there's some Gopi Bhav available in Vallabha Sampradaya because of the connection with Gadadhar Pandit, who did that in the mood of Rukmini, who is Chandravali in Dwarka Leela. And Chandravali is prominent in the Vallabha Sampradaya. It's thought that Vittala, the son of and successor of Vallabha, was an incarnation of Chandravali. It's pretty prominent. And she's prominent in our sampradaya, but in a negative way. Right. So there's a famous story of Raghunath Das Goswami. One gopi village girl was coming and saw him and offered some yogurt. And he said, "Oh, that's very nice. I haven't seen you before. What village are you coming from?" So, "I'm coming from Sakistali, that's the village of Chandravali." He says, "No, thank you. I won't take anything from that village." So it's a little different. In his commentary on 10th Canto of Bhagavatam, I studied it once. Well, the Ras Panchadhyaya, there's no mention of Radha. They're not against Radha, but their focus is somewhat different. And if you get Radha Krishna mantra from Gadadhar when he's in the mood of Rukmini in Jagannath Puri, makes sense, spiritual sense. Also, otherwise, the Vatsalya is very prominent there, and so we recommend go there. Mahaprabhu blessed him to have a sampradaya for Vatsalya Rasa. He's a contemporary. Rupa Goswami has honored him in Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. After he finishes his section on Vaidhi Bhakti, he says, and there's another group that does something like this. They call it Maryada. It's more or less the same. And at the end of his description of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, he says, and there's another group, they do it, and they call it Pushti Marg. These are the names for Vaidhi and Raganuga in the Vallabha Sampradaya. But I'm not an expert on the Vallabha Sampradaya. It's hard enough to be an expert on the Gaudiya Sampradaya. But those are some facts. And so, he was, they're intermingling with Mahaprabhu's associates. There are historical accounts of that, and Rupa Goswami's statements testify to that as well, and they were amicable, it would appear. There are some, of course, Kṛṣṇa Das Kaviraj doesn't make it to be appear to be the most amicable, but so he's there to give Vatsalya Ras. Yeah, why not? Yes.
Okay, to talk about another sampradaya, how to understand the Nimbarakas, because I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur said today, two of the points that come from them is the appreciation of Radha, and I think, as I heard you say in Sanat Kumar Samhita, that they glorify like the Manjari Bhav, or they discuss that. I don't know if they're in pursuance of that, I've never heard that, or if they're just highlighting it or something.
I don't know enough about the Nimbarkis. I mean, their philosophy is Dvaita. Ours is Achintya Dvaita. The difference is that they say sometimes is one, sometimes different. We say one and different at the same time. It's a big difference with a little word, Achintya. As far as Bhava goes, they don't accept Parakiya, so I don't know how they could embrace Sanat Kumar Samhita's descriptions of Manjari Bhav that Rupa Goswami draws from. That said, the Kumaras are the founder of that sampradaya, right? Rupa Goswami glorifies them. We sing it every morning. Sanak Sanatana, Varnita Charite, even Sanak and Sanatana, there's a reference to Sanat Kumar Samhita, glorifying the love of Radha and Krishna. Yeah, so I don't know enough about it, but I mean, as I say, they maybe accept some idea of one type of Manjari Bhav, but if it's not Parakiya. And so their attainment would be a little off-center from Gokul. There are many windows and departments, if you will, in Golok. So they're in a slightly different department. They think Radha and Krishna are married. Jiva Goswami wrote about that. So they have some prominence in Vrindavan. scholars too. So, some argument for Swakiya, and then you could have, a married Radha could have manjaris. But if there's no Parakiya, then it's different when Mahaprabhu was giving. Yes?
It seems like in the Gopal Champu, the Jiva Goswami doesn't accept the Parakiya.
It seems like that in his Brahma Samhita commentary too. It seems like that in his Ujjwal Nilmani commentary too. It seems like that in his Brahma Samhita commentary, Kram Sandarbha and Krishna Sandarbha. That's true. But there's a verse that he writes, I believe, at the conclusion of his commentary on Ujjwal Nilmani, and there he says, some of the things I've written here are my opinion, and some of the things I've written here are to tender to the opinions of others. With this one verse, then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has taken this one verse and said, at the very beginning of Ujjwal Nilmani, the first verse, he says, some people think this about Rupa Jiva Goswami didn't accept Parakiya, but here's this verse and this is what it means. And then he goes, this is why there has to be Parakiya. He shows all the reasons why there has to be Parakiya. So, in a similar way, Sridhar Maharaj said Prabhupada is in Sakirasa. But in other places he said, well, maybe he's in Madhurya Rasa and he's covered as Sakirasa for other people. Well, that's not his opinion. People needed to be appeased, so he tried to appease them. Jiva Goswami did it. So this was the beginning of the Sampradaya, the founding of the Sampradaya. And this Parakiya may be a little hard to digest for these morally upright persons of 500 years ago in India, and that the god is an adulterer, Of course, he is in the Prakat Leela, but they feel good enough. If it's not in the unmanifest Leela, then okay, everything's all right. This is a flawed world anyway, so, you can expect something like that here. It's hard for us to, fathom how they could, get it. It's very hard, but we weren't there, and we're not them, and they were. There was some people that, and he was a harmonizer. He was the Shiksha Guru of all the Gaudiya and Auriya Vaishnavas, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he wrote in this way, trying to somehow, I don't know what, include them, or if you're going to form a sampradaya, you need some support from people on the ground. So he didn't want an enemy. They were close enough. So, and even though they're a million miles away, if there's no Parakiya, it's just the essence of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. But still, apparently in other ways, they could accept, group could flourish. So it's some kind of preaching strategy. Very obviously. It's accepted by all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is Jiva Goswami's preaching strategy. And then, of course, you take it further and you say, well, actually, they are married. Again, actually, they are Swakiya, as I began earlier. Right? It's an illusion of Parakiya. Everybody belongs to Kṛṣṇa. Everybody wants Radha to be with Kṛṣṇa. She's not with anybody else. But there's an illusion. So you can say that, that he seems to have compromised, but you could say, well, this is the Siddhanta part of it. The Siddhanta is they're actually together. So don't think otherwise. But in Bhava, they're not. So there really is no Parakiya. How's that? There really is no Parakiya. If you want to weigh in on the tattva. Who wants to stay there? Right? Krishna really is the Supreme Personality of God. I mean, he really is. But he's just playing as if he's the son of Mother Yasoda. But he really is the son of Mother Yasoda in his own mind, more than he is God. So it's just like, I know Guru Maharaj, but this is it. I know that's the truth, but I feel like this. So what can be done? I know. We all, there's no one, everyone belongs to me. I know that, but I'm tired of that. So I want to feel like otherwise. This is the Braj Leela. and create some intrigue and so forth. So the bhava of parakiya is a spiritual illusion. You could say it's not the tattva. But because the bhava, the illusion of parakiya, gives so much pleasure to Kṛṣṇa, it's the highest dharma, because samsiddhir haritoshanam, the measure of dharma is that by the extent to which something, any activity, pleases Kṛṣṇa. This gives you the most pleasure, so it's the highest expression of dharma. It's the right thing, in other words. So, all right, what's the time? We'll stop there. Śrī Rādhā-Madhava ki Jaya, Gaudiya Vaishnava Guru Parampara ki Jaya, Gaura Bhakta-vrinda ki Jaya, Gaura Premanande.